Hi everyone, recently I've been getting more and more questions on how rankings work for the magazines, and so I'm making this video to help answer most people's questions and to explain in detail how the rankings come about, how they work, how you read them. And yeah, the first thing you need to know is that in Japan there are three main magazines, or three popular magazines I should say. One of these is this magazine, Weekly Shonen Sunday. This magazine has series such as Detective Conan, Maggie, and World's Strongest Disciple Kenichi, among other series. This is, you could say, the third most popular. From publisher Shogakukan. Yes, so like I said, Weekly Shonen Sunday. The next magazine to come after that, the second most popular, is Weekly Shonen Magazine by publisher Kodasha. And this magazine has series such as Fairy Tail, Codebreaker, Kindachi, and obviously it was like Cage of Eden. This is a pretty good magazine, but it doesn't beat number one, which is Weekly Shonen Jump from publisher Shueisha. This is Weekly Shonen Jump and not Jump. In Japan there are many different Jump magazines from publisher Shueisha. There's Weekly Shonen Jump like this one, there's Jump Square, V-Jump, Psycho Jump, Jump Next. So yes, when you're talking about Jump, you have to state which Jump you're talking about. My rankings, as you know, is based on this magazine, Weekly Shonen Jump. So I'll be using this as the main example throughout this video, this magazine. Weekly Shonen Jump is number one in Japan. It has series such as One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, Toriko, and so on. And it does so well because of its strict ranking system. If the manga series does really bad, Jump actually cancels that manga series and brings on a new series. And all that is decided during the serialization, or sometimes called the cancellation meetings, where the fate of series are decided. Of course, some series like Kuchigami that have been in series have been running for a very long time, no matter what rank they are, will continue serialization because of its either reputation, of its history, or of its sales. It's just such a good series that it will be embarrassing if a magazine such as Weekly Shonen Jump lets it go. Now on to the main thing, how the rankings work, how you read them, and etc. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how the readers vote for this manga series. So I'm going to turn to this first page, first chapter in this magazine. Right here. And I've made a video on this already, so you can check that as well. Right here on the first page of this volume, which is volume 4 and 5, so a double issue, there's this card. This is the reader survey card. And right here, readers vote for their top 3 manga series that they found interesting in this actual volume. So they list them right here at the top in order 1, 2, 3, according to this kind of what manga series is associated to what number right here. And these come out and you post them. There's like an address on the back or something like this. And the people in Japan who read this and vote, they send it to Shueisha, and from there, that's how the whole thing begins. The votes are counted, the polls are tallied, and we find out through the table of content which series are doing well, which series are doing not so well. So the first thing I'm going to show you, or more like teach you, is how to read the rankings. So I'm going to use this as an example. Table of content volume, I don't know, question mark, from year X777. If you watch Fairy Tail or read Fairy Tail, then you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so as we can see from this example that I created, One Piece is at the top, but it also has lead color page, and let's say it has front color page as well, front cover. Then after One Piece we have Naruto, Toriko, Assassination Classroom, that is also color page. And afterwards is Bleach, Dragon Ball, Haikyuu, Kuchikame, Slam Dunk, which is also color page, Kurogane, Medica Box, Gintama, Skate Dance, Hikari no Go, and Pyutufuku Jaguar. If you've been following the rankings, or you know this series, the last series I just said, then you'll find this hilarious, but it's always dead last in any rankings, even in this example. But anyway, let's get to the matter at hand. So, like I said, this is the table of content for this question mark magazine of year X777, and first thing we have to do is, like I've been saying in all my videos and on my blog, first thing we do is exclude the color pages. So we cross out One Piece, Assassination Classroom, and Slam Dunk. Now what we're left with: Naruto, Toriko, Bleach, Dragon Ball, Haikyuu, Kuchikame, Kurogane, Medica Box, Gintama, Skate Dance, Hikaru no Go, Pyutufuku Jaguar. Now we've done that, now we excluded the color pages. Now imagine in this example, these series, every single one of these series have been running for, let's say, 3 months, and no new series has come about, no cancellation has been done, and so these series have been running for those 3 months. So in this example we can really exclude the 8-week rule and just have a look at the listings. So for this ranking, Naruto will be number 1, Toriko will be 2, Bleach 3rd, Dragon Ball 4th, Haikyuu 5th, Kuchikame 6th, and so on down the table of content. And that is really it. That is how you read the rankings from the table of content. Now I'm going to explain the concept of the 8-week rule, or what I prefer to call it as the 8-chapter rule. And I'll be showing you examples afterwards, so you better understand them. But the idea is that, imagine a new series has started. Let's say it started in volume 1 of 2013. Let's say 2014, because it's already 2013. So volume 1 of 2013, and this series is called I Love YouTube. Okay, that sounds pretty sad of a series, but anyway. So chapter 1 came in volume 1. And chapter 2 came in volume 2, chapter 3 came in volume 3, and so on. So in this example, there's no double issues, just single issues, and each chapter is in one volume of this magazine. Now, for the first volume, like I said before, it contained chapter 1 of this I Love YouTube series. The idea is that 8 weeks later, the ranks of the first chapter will appear in that volume. So in my example, I said chapter 1 was in, what did I say? Chapter 1 was in volume 1. So that would mean that, according to, like I said, that's the 8th chapter rule, not the 8-week rule. It's more confused as the 8-week rule, if you ask me. But yes, so volume chapter 8 will be in volume 8. Therefore, the first rank of this new series, I Love YouTube, will be in volume 8. And the rank in that volume 8 will represent the ranks for chapter 1. I hope I made that clear. Now I'm going to use examples to help you better understand how this whole ranking business works. Now, as more people have started to get interested in rankings for Weekly Shonen Jump due to this series, I'll be using Bakuman as the first example. Now, Bakuman started back in 2008 in double issue 37-38. So, chapter 1 was in 37-38. If we were to move along, chapter 2 was in volume 39 of Weekly Shonen Jump. Chapter 3 was in volume 40. Chapter 4 was in volume 41. Chapter 5 was in 42. Chapter 6 was in volume 43. Chapter 7 was in 44. And now chapter 8 was in 45. So, according to, like I said, what I call the 8-chapter rule, the first ranking of Bakuman would be when the 8th chapter was published or printed, so in this volume 45. So the rankings in this volume, volume 45, will represent the actual rankings from volume 37-38, which had chapter 1 of Bakuman. So let's have a look at the table of contents for that volume. As we can see from this, Bleach and Hunter x Hunter have color pages. And as I said before, first thing we do is exclude the color pages. Next thing we do is have a look at volume 37 and 38. We have to have a look at what series from volume 43 was not in volume 37-38. I'm not going to show you the actual table of content from that volume. I'm just going to do this for you. So first thing, what I'm going to do is cross out the series that was not in 37-38 of Weekly Shonen Jump, which had first chapter of Bakuman. So cross that out, and let's have a look now. Naruto would be first, One Piece second, Gintama third, Toriko fourth, then Reborn fifth. These two series didn't. These three series are new, or started within the last 8 weeks, as I say in my video descriptions for my rankings. Then Ice Shield, Kuchikame, Nuraregyo no Mago, and Bakuman. So in this volume, Bakuman came 9th. So the first ranking of Bakuman, which represents chapter 1, is 9th. Okay, that is not so good, but it's not terrible either for its first rank. Now let's move along to volume 46. So like we did before, cross out the color pages. So that is Naruto and Ice Shield 21. And we're left with this list. Then you have to cross out the series that did not appear in volume 39. I'm going to do this for you again. Cross that out. Now from there we can actually list the pure rankings, which is first is Gintama, then Toriko, second, third is Reborn, then Bleach, then Bakuman. So for chapter 2 of Bakuman, it received 5th ranking. So that's a bit better compared to the first chapter. So it's gone up, which is really good for a series. It's always the first few chapters that really define a manga series. And let's look at the next volume that comes on the week after, volume 47. Here is the table of content, just like before. Cross out the color pages. Cross out the series that did not appear in volume 40, which was 8 weeks, as some people call it, or as I say, 8 chapters back, or 8 volumes back, however you want to say it or understand it best. So like I said, I crossed these out. So in this volume, for the pure rankings, Naruto came first, then Bleach, then Toriko, Gintama, fourth, Inumaru Dashi, that's the first ranking I believe, no, the second ranking. Inumaru Dashi first ranking was in volume 46. Yeah. So keep going on, then D. Grayman, and so on until you get to Bakuman. So the third ranking of Bakuman is, when you count them, is 11th. Well, it's gone down now, so the third chapter wasn't so good, or people didn't find it that interesting. Either that, or they found another series more interesting than Bakuman. Of course, as the series just started, it takes time to pick up fan base and votes and etc. That was an example for Bakuman, for the first 3 rankings of that series. I'm just going to show you the first 3 rankings for example, if not we'll be here forever. My next example will be the also popular series Bleach. Bleach started out in 2001 in double issue 36-37. So, like before, chapter 1 came out in that double issue 36-37. Chapter 2 came out in volume 38. Chapter 3 came out in 39. Chapter 4 came out in volume 40 of Weekly Shonen Jump. Chapter 5 came out in volume 41. Chapter 6 in 42. Chapter 7 of Bleach came out in 43. And chapter 8 came out in volume 44 of Weekly Shonen Jump 2001. So let's look at that table of content. Very interesting. Quite a lot of series that you might not recognize. Some of them are legends, some of them are well known, some of them don't even recognize. But anyway, from here we see that One Piece has color page, probably front cover page as well, front cover. Oh, and Bleach also has color page. Well, that's a bit unusual. This is supposed to have the first ranking of Bleach. Bit strange. So there's quite a lot of explanations for this. Maybe one explanation is that Bleach did so well that the editors decided to give them color pages to celebrate the success. Or another one is maybe Bleach didn't do too well on the polls as expected, so they gave color pages to help improve it. Or maybe the editors just felt like giving color page to Bleach for the hell of it. But because of this, as I said before, color pages are excluded from the rankings. So chapter 1 is not really ranked, which is a bit strange. So let's go on to the next volume. Let's hope it's ranked there. And alright, this volume, Bleach, does not have color pages. Instead it's Hikaru no Go, I'm a Faker, and Mr. Full Swing. So, as before, cross out these color pages. Next thing we do is cross out the series that weren't in the volume 38, which was 8 volumes back, or 8 chapters back, 8 weeks back, however you want to understand it. So the rankings for the second chapter of Bleach would be, first would be One Piece, second would be Yu-Gi-Oh, and third would be Bleach. Wow, no wonder it's called one of the top 3s along with One Piece and Naruto. Very impressive. Chapter 2 for Bleach got 3rd rank. Very, very impressive for a new series. Shows you how good Bleach was. We had a look at the volume. Let's move on to volume 46, which will represent the 3rd chapter of Bleach. So again, cross out the color pages, Prince of Tennis and Gran Bagan. And cross out the series that did not appear 8 weeks back, or 8 volumes back, in volume 39. Cross those out. Okay. Now we have a look at the rankings. First was One Piece, as usual. Naruto, second. Bobo. Third, Shaman King, fourth. And we keep going down until we see Bleach. Bleach didn't do so well in this one. It got 9th. Well, it's a 3rd chapter, and I believe that's when the story actually started to develop into an arc. Not too bad, but considering it got 3rd in the last volume, it's a series to keep an eye on. And as we all know, Bleach became really popular and is popular. Not as popular as it was before, but still, nevertheless, it's still popular. And for my last example, I'll be using Toriko, which is one of my favorite series, which started in 2008 in volume 25. So chapter 1 was in 25, chapter 2 was in volume 26, chapter 3 was in 27, chapter 4 was in volume 28, chapter 5 was in volume 29, chapter 6 was in volume 30, chapter 7 was in 31, and chapter 8 was in volume 32 of Weekly Shonen Jump 2008. So let's have a look at that table of content. So this time there's only one colour page, which is iShield 21. So cross that out. So again, I'm going to cross out the series that did not appear 8 volumes back. I'll cross these out for you. So this time Naruto came first. Then One Piece, second. Toriko came 3rd. Unbelievable. So the first ranking of Toriko, chapter 1, was 3rd. Wow, that's really impressive. So in a way it kind of reminds you of the example I showed you before, Bleach. Very good. But can he maintain such a high rank? Bleach, as we saw, the 3rd chapter got 9th. Let's see how Toriko does. Next volume was volume 33. Okay, let's have a look at this time. We crossed out the color pages again. Cross out the series that did not appear for this ranked, for the issue that's been ranked. So that was volume 26 of Weekly Shonen Jump of that year. So let's have a look. Naruto came first and Toriko came second. Wow, Toriko actually went up a rank for his 2nd chapter. Impressive. Well, in a way it kind of beats Bleach. We'll really know how well it does in the 3rd chapter. But for a new series, that's very, very good. Now, let's go on to the next volume. Volume 34. Here is the table of contents again. One Piece is the only colour page, so we can cross that out. And this time, there's no series that need to be crossed out, because all these series you see here were in the volume that is currently being ranked, which was volume 27 of that year. Naruto came first, 2nd rank belongs to Bleach, and Toriko, wow, Toriko is 3rd. Wow, again. And this is the 3rd chapter. No wonder it's doing pretty well. You can continue reading the rankings. So 4th is iShield, 5th is Reborn, 6th is Gintama, Kuchikame is not included. Kuchikame. 7 Kuchikame, 8 Godashi Gaiden, 9th I think, I lost count, I think, 9th Nurarihyo no Mago, then Barry Haken, Double Arts, D. Grayman, To Loveru, Sket Dance, Siren, Majin Tante Nogami Nuro, Boku no Watashi no, Yushagaku, and Jaguar last as usual. But yeah, I hope these examples have been helpful. You might want to replay this video to help you understand it more, or pause the examples I showed you to better have a look at the rankings. Yeah. Just before I finish this video, I'm going to answer a few questions that I continuously get from viewers, subscribers. And the first question is, why do series get cancelled? There are many reasons why series get cancelled. One, they don't do too well in the rankings or polls. Another is that their volume sales aren't doing too well, and they're not doing well in the actual rankings. Or three, they might actually be unwell, there's a family crisis, or they feel that this series should end due to a personal issue. Another reason could be they want to end it because it's just because they want to end it. They feel like they can't develop the story anymore than it already has, and they just end it. Of course, things like that, they go through the editors, and they do try really hard to create chapters each week. I'm sure if you watch Bakuman, you will know how hard it is for some manga artists. Another question I received quite a lot was, why are colour pages excluded? Aren't they unfair? It's actually an advantage, not a disadvantage, for a series to have colour pages. When a series has colour pages in a volume, say volume X, and that volume X is voted, the people who read that volume will see that the colour pages are good, maybe the artwork is good, the colouring is done well, and this can affect the results of the votes and thus the ranks. So it's actually an advantage and not a disadvantage. Of course, that does not answer why colour pages are excluded. Imagine we're editors at Shueisha and we got this ranking, and we want to give 2 series colour pages for the next issue of Weekly Shonen Jump, and we have these 5 series. So let's decide, yes, let's give One Piece a colour page, it's really popular, and give Naruto a colour page, maybe it's its anniversary. So we decided to give these 2 series colour pages. But the thing is that colour pages don't actually reflect rankings. So editors might decide, like I said, we're the editors, so we might decide to put Naruto here, and One Piece gets cover and lead pages. So yeah, we're happy with this arrangement. So this is the table of content now. As we can see here, Naruto is in a different position because it's given colour pages, and One Piece is still at the top, but it could have gotten a different position within the table of content. Therefore, colour pages are excluded because they're just spread anywhere according to editors' discretion, wherever they feel like they want to put it. Now on to another question, why do series get colour pages? And there are loads of answers to that question, but the main reasons are because it's doing really well, or because it's an anniversary for that series. Maybe a first year anniversary, it's been running for 2 years or 5 years, whatever. So normally on anniversary series do get colour pages. That's another reason. I'm not sure, but maybe another reason could be that a series is not doing too well, so to help boost ranks or to boost votes for them, like I said, it's an advantage, not a disadvantage, to have colour pages. Yeah, on to the next question. Another question I got recently actually is, are the rankings kept confidential? Aren't they not actually released to the public? And the answer is, I'm not too sure. I think they're not, but quite a lot of series, if you have a look at the rankings, they're dead last before they're cancelled. Proof of it can be found in Bakuman. In Bakuman there was a part where a series wasn't doing too well, and it was closer towards the back of the magazine, therefore towards the bottom end of the table of content, thus, according to me, the bottom of the pure rankings, bottom half, or the bottom 5 of the pure rankings. Yeah. I hope that convinces you. Of course, I don't have any real proof. I don't have anything from publishers or anything like that that say these are the rankings. I only have the table of contents, and I assume that these are, okay, let's say an estimate or a roundabout way to to see how series are doing, how well they're doing, how popular they are. So yeah, I hope that answers that question. I think that's all the questions most people asked. So I'm just going to summarize this video, if I can. 3 top series, as I've shown you before. Weekly shown Sunday from publisher Shogakukan. There it is. Then magazine, Weekly Shonen magazine by publisher Kodasha. And number 1 series, number 1, is from publisher Shueisha. It's sheer awesomeness, and I explained to you in this video how the rankings work and how they come about. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, just comment or send me a message or something to get in contact with me, and I'll try to answer your questions as quick as possible. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope this has been helpful.